Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hey, welcome back, everybody. She is like completely unique. Every time we get together, I learn something more about her, but even more so about us, all of us. She's intuitive. She's spiritual. She is a spiritual magic practitioner, our professional of the year. She has this ability to harness energy and change the energy around you, around others. We'll learn a lot today. Dr. Love joins us once again. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Very well, very well. Before we even do anything here, we've mentioned this before, and I want to bring it up again because it's your belief that you have intuitive abilities because you're very unique in your blood type. And is it Rh negative?
Yes.
There are only a small percentage of the people in the world with that blood type. And how do you connect that to your spiritualism, your abilities, your talents?
You know, Steve, I didn't know there was a connection until the last few years. I was led down a path. I actually met a lady. She was a shaman, and we were just discussing. You know, she's like, I felt something about your blood. And I said, you know, I always felt that when I was young. I used to get messages, actually voices. It's in your blood. It's in your blood. I did not understand what it meant. And then I start researching, and then we found out, you know, Uncle loves Google. And everybody, it is in black and white, who has this blood type has a capability, psychic, spiritually. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's, the Windsor family has it. Everybody in the Windsor family has it. It's an ancient bloodline.
Wow.
Some people say it's Mary Magdalene's bloodline. I mean, I really don't know, but they don't even know. Scientists don't know where the blood has came from.
So this shaman didn't know that you had Rh negative. You knew.
No.
You knew.
Mm-hmm.
And she picked it up and said, something with your blood. And that's your connection to your spiritualism, your intuitiveness. And then you did that prompt you to start looking deeper?
Well, yeah. See, I've been here before. I have many lifetimes. I don't know if you believe in past lives, but I didn't before then. I mean, I used to feel older than what I was. I used to always, I'm like, this feels familiar. Like I've been here before, or I met this person before. And I always felt out of place. And when I did the reading with her, and she's a really good friend, she's like, it's your blood. You're so special. You're special. You are so special. It goes back to your ancestors.
Wow.
And I'm like, nobody in my family is special. No, not your family here. Your family then.
I'm starting to see more and more evidence of past lives, hearing about them, exploring my own, what could be. I don't know if I shared this. Stop me if I did, but I have an affinity for the 1800s. I don't know what it is. I could look at pictures of people from the 1800s forever, especially like 1850, where they just had photography began. So now these are real pictures, not just like paintings, drawings, things like that. And I could look at their clothes for hours. Like, how did they can do that? Back then, they didn't have machines. You know, how do they do that?
Do you feel a connection?
Yes. So,
I do.
So then I had a genealogist do just a quick look. And I don't have a deep connection to my father's side, but they started looking a little bit deeper. And they identified that my father's father was in right around the 1800s, was a tailor in Lithuania. Side note, I didn't even know I was Lithuanian until I did the DNA test, you know, Ancestry.com.
Right.
I'm like, where did that come from? And so here I am looking at the clothes. He's a tailor. She says he worked his butt off and was able to make enough money to bring his family to New York. And she even identified the street he lived on in New York City and they did very well for themselves because he was a tailor. Now,
Wow.
I didn't give her any of this info. She just brought it up. She's not a
No.
psychic. She just, traced history back with a couple of pieces of information that I had. So that kind of piques my interest. Like maybe I was there at that time, or there's some connection there. What period of time do you think that you may have been from?
I've had several. Several. There is, one that's going to get a little controversial, but I feel called there. I feel like I was part of the witch trials in one of my lives.
Hmm.
I feel that I was royalty in England in one of my lives. There's two more I can't mention, but it goes deep. It goes deep. I walked this earth, I believe, more than 3 times.
Wow. Isn't it interesting that when you feel you kind of know? Like, I feel like, ever since that genealogist presented that, it's like...
You're aware. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like, I had that love of that time period. And by the way, part of that is it was just simpler. They had some technology, but it was a simpler way of life. And I appreciate that.
I do too.
It wasn't like they were in a cave, but it was kind of cool. And now that she said that, it's like, it's like makes sense, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. And I'm glad, and I'm very happy for you, Steve, that you're in the loop now.
Yeah.
You're in, you get it. It's either you know or you don't.
And I've heard stories from people who are legit hypnotherapists and also do past life regressions and have worked with people and told me these stories. Like one gentleman, she said, yeah, well, I think it was the 1700s that he was shot in the back. And he said, I don't even know what to say, but as far as I know, since I was a kid, I always had this pain in the center of my back.
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's because you were shot. How would she have even known that? And why would he even say that? He's not going to say that just because he wants to say that. There's, he felt pain. Like there's always like, just uncomfortable back there. I don't know what it is.
Because he was carrying his past life with him.
Apparently so.
Okay. So not everybody is supposed to know about their past lives because a lot of people just can't handle it. You were one of the lucky ones that needed to know. You're special, Steve. I know you're special.
Well, my mom used to think so.
You're the special child.
Why do some realize these things? Call them things if you want, this intuitiveness, connections, whatever it might be. Why do some get it, like realize it, and others don't?
Okay, so you're supposed to be activated. So you have a different mission here. So you are supposed to be aware, be activated, because there's probably, I'm not going to say probably, I'm going to say most definitely there's somebody you're supposed to come in, or many people you're supposed to come in contact with to help to activate them.
I don't doubt that for a millisecond. And I also feel, even though, at my age, there's a lot more I got going on to do.
Yeah.
A lot. Like I'm like, it's only just beginning, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it just opened up. It's like I'm in a new life.
Yes. Yeah.
When you get activated, it's like, it's not like everything disappeared from your childhood or friends that you grew up with or things like that, but it's just kind of like it's not important anymore, if that makes any sense. It's not important anymore. That life that you left is not important anymore. There's a new beginning, a new chapter. When you get activated, you know you have a mission.
I'm not going to agree with you just to agree with you.
No, don't.
Very transparent. I have to agree. I can't deny that, the feeling that I have. And it's almost as if there's a filter. Like I have a new filter that I filter things through, people, thoughts, situations. And if they don't make the filter, they need that doesn't work. Where I would just there was no filter. Everything would just come right through, like the drain in your sink. You put stuff in your sink. Now, let's say you had a salad bowl with some lettuce in there and it would stop it. That's kind of what it's doing now. Or, you take that out and everything goes down the drain. Not really down the drain, but, into your life, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel, that. And I tell me about your intuition. What are you feeling? What do you get? Like, what's going on?
Well, I could tell you what I'm going through right now, which was part of the activation. The last year, I got activated more. Okay. So I like to keep my energy to myself most of the time because I work with clients, and when you're socializing, you just pick up a lot of bad juju.
Mm-hmm.
It's it is what it is, and I'm too sensitive for it. Like I was trying to explain before, so I don't like to socialize too much.
I do,
So
but
I
sometimes it gets heavy. Like
it gets
I do a
heavy.
lot. I do, the whole weekend. I got stuff going on, and now I just got a text from a coworker. Hey, I'm back in town. You want to hang
You
out?
want to hang out?
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I
Okay.
gotta add that to the stack.
Okay. So yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So hanging out. Okay. So I've noticed hanging out with the same people that I've hung out with before I was highly activated. I could pick up so much more on them, so much, and I'm like, they didn't make the cut.
The filter.
Yeah, there you go. They didn't make the cut. They didn't make the filter. They didn't, they're not on my level. They don't see things the way I see things. They don't have the same morals as I have. It's just, I guess it's that time, you grow apart.
Mm. Well, they were, like they say, season or a reason. So
Yeah.
there was a reason previously.
Yeah.
It's funny, talk about intuition. I have somebody I work with, and for the entire month, he's in the Dominican Republic. And I've hung with him before. He's like, wherever he is, he's, he goes wherever he wants because he can. He was in Florida, sold his house. He just goes wherever now.
Pretty.
I'm gonna go to Egypt for 3 weeks. I'm gonna go back to Florida for another month. I'm gonna go to the Dominican Republic. So he's in the Dominican Republic. He's like, dude, come down, hang out. I'm like, free stay. He's there this month. Intuition, right? So like 3 weeks ago, I was just about to click the flights, which were cheap, like cheaper than going from New York to
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
From New York to Dominican Republic nonstop flight, it was cheaper. I'm like, this makes sense. I'm going. This is gonna be great. I have like a 4-day weekend. Fabulous. Don't have to pay for the stay. Buy him
It'll
some
be
dinner.
nice.
I know what to expect because I've hung with him before. Couldn't click the button. Couldn't do it. I was like, maybe this isn't the right week. Maybe I'll do it the following week. So I'm getting close to that. And I put the flights in the cart. I'm like, something said, no,
Yeah.
not happening. I was going to go this week right now. Would have been there. Couldn't do it. I don't know what it was, but I've just put it to the side. Just wasn't meant to be. And he texts me and he's like, bro, good thing you didn't come down here. He goes, there's no electric. He goes, it's out for days. He says, I have no air conditioning. I can't take a shower because the water is run by a pump. He goes, I might get it back later. I can't even work. He goes, I can't wait to get out of here. And I'm like, so sorry to hear that. And I even said, my intuition said, I shouldn't be going there.
Well, and when it gets like that, Steve, it's a little bit more than just your intuition. Sorry, I'm going to stop you there. You're having divine intervention.
Okay, explain. You mean source said no go?
Yeah.
I don't doubt that either.
Yeah.
It was like a hand on my hand on the mouse, as I'm trying to click, and it's like, no, no. And I didn't 3 times. And it seemed so, I wanted to get away. It was time. I need like a weekend away, and that seemed perfect. Just seemed like it made sense. Couldn't do it. And my goal, he's got the entire month there. Oof. I just
That's
wanted,
terrible.
I just wanted some peace for 4 days. I would have been, my 4 days would have been just as miserable as his month because I needed it for a different reason. We've got different lives. He's got different things going on. For him, it's like
100%.
he's living like a chill life. So this isn't like, for me, it'd be like, I needed these 4 days and I couldn't even get them. Like I got to shower, air conditioning. So maybe divine intervention, but
Yeah, no, it was. I'm going to say it was.
And normally I would have been like, kind of just, like just disappointed. Like, I really wanted to go. No, I wasn't even for a second. No, not meant to be, dude.
No.
Put it to the side. Not meant to be. Put it to the side. And it actually felt good not going.
Right?
Until I found out. Yeah. So you actually work with couples?
I do.
Tell me about that.
I do. I can work with couples, individuals. So sometimes an individual will contact me and tell me, hey, I got a girlfriend or a wife or vice versa, or even same sex. We tried therapy, we tried everything. Either I was recommended to them. However they find me, they're like, it was pushed on me. We're trying the spiritual route. What do I do? How do we get this individual to open up and hear my needs? Here's the thing, see, we all have channels. Everybody does. Most people don't want to open up their channels. Okay. If your channels are not open up, you can't receive and you can't give. And that's where they come closed off in relationships, even just in friendly conversations. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'll put it on me. I'll just say, hey, I've been with this person for so many years. And I keep telling them over and over and over again, my needs. And they don't want to acknowledge it. They just keep going on with their same pattern, not considering that it hurts me, not considering what I brought to the table and how they just disregarded it. It's because they're closed off. They can't hear, they can't see spiritually. They can't accept somebody else's feelings. They can't accept somebody else's knowledge. They just can't do it. And that's where I go in spiritually and I break it. I do the cleaning, I do the cleansing, I do the prayer, I do the meditation, however I do it, but I can't do it on camera, but I do it for them. And some it works right away. Sometimes they need another session or two if they're that stubborn, but it does work. Sometimes they get woken up. Now here's the thing. Sometimes they get woken up and they realize, well, I know what I want in life. I don't want to be with you, but I am woken up. So sometimes it's not just about the relationship, it's about the individual. That's what I was trying to explain to you before. Sometimes that other person, I just want them, but what if you're really not meant to be? Don't you want to help the person you care about? Maybe you were there to help them level up, get on their new journey, get on their new path. Maybe it wasn't just to be in a relationship with you. But a lot of people have a hard time accepting that.
I get it, though. I really do.
No. I even had one person tell me, this was the same sex relationship. I just prepared him and got him ready for some other guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess so. You helped him. Don't you love him to help him as a human? Well, no, I don't want him to go somebody else.
Well, you can understand those feelings. I get it, but also I get the other side of it. And that goes right back to in your life for a season or a reason.
Exactly.
So sometimes there's a reason that somebody is in your life.
Yeah.
The beauty is realizing it.
Exactly. So yes, I help heal. I help heal relationships. I help couples open up. It works. It's way stronger than couples therapy. I'll say that.
Very interesting. And I can see that. I can see how, because in couples therapy, if somebody's closed off, I'm not going to be open. Nothing. You're going nowhere.
Absolutely nothing. I've had that done several times.
Yeah. It's you know where you're going. You know where you're going in a situation like that. You're going through the motions.
Yeah.
Just to say we went to therapy. We're working on it. You're really not. You're taking a step, but I think if you energetically open someone up, open those channels, then they're open to receive and also send. It's working.
Well, to counteract that, what I wanted to say is this much, and this is you got your good and you got your bad, okay? But I think it's all good. The person that needs to open up, they need to open up, okay? It's about them getting clarity too, okay? So it's not just, like I was explaining, it's not just about you keeping that person bonded to you. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm about. That person has its own path. He or she, we're going to help them heal. We're going to help them go to their destiny. Okay? And sometimes that other individual needs to heal too. Sometimes they have this controlling, well, I wanted to be with this guy, but you're not meant. Okay? You're not meant. If you're not meant, you're not meant. You can't force it. It's like keeping that person trapped, like spiritually hostage. You got me?
Completely. Isn't it interesting once you are activated, maybe, I don't know, you realize, you see those things and you even see your past.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You see your past and why things didn't work.
Yes.
And past relationships. I don't mean past. I don't mean past life relationships. I mean in the past.
Right, into 3D like, now.
Yeah, where you right, and you realize, previously where it's like, why didn't that work? Now it's like, I know. I clearly know why that didn't work.
Yeah.
Why didn't I see it? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. You just didn't want to admit it. You buried it inside of you, but after, as you say, activated, you realize it. And I had, in one relationship, I talked to somebody who's intuitive. Long story short, he's definitely, he's a friend from way back, very intuitive. We don't talk all the time, but in a relationship, a long-term relationship I was in, he provided me with some insight. And I'm like, well, are you kidding? Like, how did this end? And he goes, you knew it was going to end. You knew it. And I'm like, but no, it couldn't be. And then after a time, call it activation. I was like, yeah, you should have listened to yourself.
But also wasn't the right time for you.
This is true.
It all has to be, it's all on divine timing too. And that's something that us humans, we don't want to accept time.
Right. Again, in your life for a season or a reason. I don't know. Did I ever share? We've got a second here, to illustrate that. And when you realize it, I needed radiation for skin cancer, and this is 2 years ago. And I went through the treatments, and I was with somebody at that time, and it was a fun relationship. Lasted like 6 months. And one day she comes walking through the door, and she sees my face over here. It's all healed. It's all great. It's like baby skin now. It's great. She comes in and she's like, oh my God, look at your face. I got to take care of you. I got to help you. Didn't realize it. I knew what she did for a living. She was a nurse. That's why she was in my life. And it ended, maybe 3 months after that. Ran its course, the relationship. She was there for that. And I helped her with some things too. But that's what that was for.
Yeah, help.
Yeah, among other things. And I want you to get into them, in terms of life and dynamics and stuff. But I didn't realize that until the last, year or so. It was like, oh, that's what that was for. All right, universe, thank you. That was, I appreciate that.
But I'll do one more thing real quick before we have time. You have enough time?
Go right ahead.
I could do the other side of things. So if the couple is meant to be together and there's just a simple blockage, I remove that blockage and bond them with each other. So that's the happy note on that side too.
Yeah. Well, that's the, I guess, the therapeutic side of you in a way, but energetically speaking. Final question. Do you know what you want in life?
Yes.
5 years ago, did you know what you want in life?
No.
I would answer the same exact way.
I know now.
Me too. Isn't it crystal clear?
Very.
Very.
Very, very. And I'm going to get it.
Me too. How do you know?
I'm going to get it.
How do you know?
I was promised. The universe promised me. The universe promised me my wishes are coming true. My manifestations are going to happen because I served my time. I did what I had to do for a lot of people, and I'm going to help more.
Is it also more of a you just know?
I just know too. It's everything.
Weird, isn't it? Weirdly cool.
Yeah, it is. The comfort.
And if you had a challenge in your life tomorrow, do you feel because of the state that you're in and you've had a lot of realizations, it's not really a challenge anymore?
Nope.
But 5 years ago, it'd be like, holy.
Oh, yeah. Dramatic. How am I going to get through this?
How am I going to get through this? Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, now it's just like, yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
No. Right. It's an interesting final question. Somebody's listening to this. It sounds, and they're past the woo-woo stage, right? They're like, this is, I'm feeling some of this, right? How do I get activated?
I have the gift of activation. That's what I wanted to let a lot of people know that want to contact me if they need to be activated. I help you get to your level. That's what I call it my workshop.
Have I been activated?
You are activated, Steve. You probably only have one more level to go.
How many levels are there? Or is it vary for everybody?
It varies for everybody, but there's usually about 2 to 3.
I have to agree in terms of what I'm feeling.
Hey, you're there, babe. And I really am happy for you. Because like I told you before, either you know or you don't. You know or you don't know.
I just know, and it's a
You
weird
know.
thing. And if anybody's listening to this, watching it, and thinking those two are bat blank crazy.
Are they high?
Yeah, right, exactly right. Yeah. No, we're not. And it's an interesting way to look at things when you realize certain things. And it's that thing comes right back to energy. And we didn't make this up. Some dude, Einstein, I don't really know. That's all I know his name.
Going with the flow.
He was talking about that, many 70 years ago, I don't know, more. That's what it is. That's what we're talking about here. How do we connect with you?
My website, which is drlovejennifer.com.
Website came out great, by the way.
Thank you.
Love your picture on there, too. Got to tell you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Appreciate it.
What can I say? Get activated, people. You'll see it changes, and they'll be for the better. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of.
It's all good.
And why is it all good? Because the universe wants everything for you. Why are we here? To be miserable? No,
we're not here to suffer.
No.
We're not here to suffer. We're not supposed to be suffered.
No.
Life is what you make it.
Great talking with you today.
Great talking to you too.
Like super cool. Validation for things I've wondered, at least for me, and maybe others too. Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Good.
drlovejennifer.com. I got it right.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Thank you for today. All the best to you. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year, babe.
Yep. Gonna be a good one.
Yes,
We'll talk soon, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.